Candidly Chaotic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing about homeschooling with toddlers around. And so if that's something that will be helpful for you, then stick around. So on this channel I talk about homeschooling, mom life, and just family adventures, and my heart is to share and to hopefully help encourage and give ideas to all of you who are doing this thing too. So if those things are interesting to you or will be helpful, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Okay, so schooling with a toddler. It's definitely possible, definitely doable. It gets a little crazy and chaotic, but there are so many moms that I have gotten great ideas from, and I know that they are making it work, or they have, they've made it to the other side. And so I just wanted to share some of the things that we do. It is by no means perfect. We definitely have some interruptions and distractions, but that's just part of it, and it's okay. We make it through. My toddler will be 3 in a couple months, and we have done schooling with him around since he was about a year old. And so we've gone through various phases of doing it during nap time and then transitioning into doing it with him around. And so now we're doing it with him around, and we have been for at least a couple months. So this is what I do. For the most part, first of all, I would suggest that depending on the age of the toddler, that you do try to include them as much as possible and when they want to be. So my toddler, when we first get started, we do some songs, we do some circle time type things, and he is definitely included in those activities. They're fun for him, and honestly, a lot of the songs are geared a little bit towards his learning anyways, and so it's for him. And we do hand motions and get him involved. And so that's really fun to get him feeling like this is for him too. And then when we sit down to actually do the school part of things, or the rest of the school part of things, then that is where some other tricks come into play. A lot of times we will do a snack time at the beginning, because at the beginning I read from our Bible or do our Bible curriculum, which is reading a story. And so to get him to listen, or at least not to distract, they will be eating snacks, both my kids, and that's very helpful. And then once he's done with his snack, or if we don't do snack that day, because we don't necessarily always do it, then it just depends. Sometimes we go outside and I bring something messy for him to do outside while we're doing our school, and he just occupies himself with, like sand or Play-Doh or whatever. Sometimes we'll be inside, and sometimes he's interested in doing school with us. And so I actually have an old workbook that my older son didn't really use, and I have that set aside, and that is my younger son's workbook, and he knows that it's his, and so he will ask for his workbook, and I get it out, and he can draw on it or put stickers on it or do, tear it up, whatever. And so sometimes he will ask to do that. Sometimes he wants to play, and our schooling area is in our playroom, and so he is free to play with the toys kind of at the other end. We kind of have the two areas a little bit separated, and so he could play with his toys, although honestly, much to my dismay, he does not choose to do that as often as I would like him to, because that would of course keep him from being a distraction, and he just doesn't choose that. Every once in a while, a toy will strike his fancy, and he'll go ahead and do that. But then on days that I'm really struggling to get him to do something that is not distracting, or maybe not going to another part of our house and destroying it, because that is an issue. He'll leave the room and do all sorts of naughty things, and so I really do try to keep him in the same room as we are in. And so then on the days that he doesn't want to do toys and we're not having him do some sort of activity, I have a kind of like a bucket of toys that I set up on our school shelf, and he is not allowed to have those except for at school time. And so they are a little bit special. He doesn't, he's not necessarily tired of them, of playing with them on a normal basis, and they have a little bit of novelty to them because he only gets them during school time. And honestly, not even every day during school time. It's just on school days that he isn't doing other things. And so some of those things are like, we have these little sorting things that he uses tweezers, and he puts these bees into different colors, and that can keep him occupied for quite a while. We have some magnets that unfortunately my son has not, he just doesn't like them as much as I thought that he would. They're like letters and pictures and stuff that he can do stuff with, and he's just not interested in them. But I have heard of other toddlers his age being interested. That's why I tried it. So you could try magnets. Let's see, what else? We have stickers. We have a couple special puzzles that I set in there that he doesn't have access to on a normal basis. So then he could do those puzzles. I have a shape sorting toy that he likes to play with. I have some lacing beads that he can get out during that time. And of course he can color. I'll get out paper or coloring books, and he can get out a pencil. And so there are some things that I set aside that are a little bit more novel for him during school time. I would like to increase my stash of things that are special for him to do, because I think that that would be helpful to have a little bit of a variety. So you could find some variety of things that you can have your toddler do, but that are only special for school time. I would highly encourage you to include your toddler as much as possible, because then when they are feeling included, they are less likely to like, give me attention, you know, because they're feeling a part of the action. And also, in my opinion, it just takes time to teach them what is expected. There are some times and some days that my toddler is just a little extra distracting, and I have to take a time out from schooling with my older son to teach my younger son how to act and how to behave, so that way he is, you know, contributing to our family's success. And so honestly, I do think that some of it is, some days are just not going to be that great, because you're going to have to take more time to teach your toddler your expectations on how they behave. And of course, they're not going to do it, you know, right away. They're not going to say, "Oh, Mommy, I'm so glad you laid these things out for me. I'm going to do it exactly as you say it right now." It takes correction, and so some days are just a lot of correction. And so, like I said, in my opinion, part of it is I'm going to be teaching him how to act and what I expect from him during that time, and then rewarding him with you know, special toys, special activities. And a lot of times after school time, or like at the end of school time, we'll do art, and he gets to do that with us too. And so it's kind of a reward for behaving well. So that's what I do to help my toddler not be a complete detraction from school. And also just so that I want it to be enjoyable for both of my children that we're doing homeschool. Part of the reason that I homeschool is because I want our family to come together. And so if I'm trying to keep my toddler separate all the time, or making him feel like he's not a part of what we're doing, that's not really accomplishing my goal. So that's not the route that I take. If you have any tips of what you use for your toddler during homeschooling time, you can drop those in the comments. Or maybe you have some toys that you have found that your toddler loves and that keeps them occupied. I would really love to hear it. So let's just keep the ideas rolling on how we can keep our toddlers occupied and not a distraction. So thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Leave me some comments if you have any questions, and I will see you soon.